Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare. We do this live chat every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Um, yeah, things are going good. Things are going good. Hey, I was early, guys, for once. It's early. So, welcome. You are in the right place. We are talking homesteady things today. And yeah, I was just on the phone with one of my friends, Davina. And so, hello to her and her family and kids. So, yeah, good conversation. So, I'm going to scroll up here at the beginning and get started here. Wanted to let you guys know that Ringo is still doing well. I will have a video out about his recovery. I don't know if I'm going to do it Thursday or if it's going to be next week. There you go. There you go. But I did video a lot of it. All right. Steve says, "Good evening, everyone," as they enter. In other words, you're not going to shout out anybody. Hi, Steve. Welcome. Welcome. You're early. You were early, and I was early. There you go. And all right. Dawn's here. Welcome, Dawn. Stair climber. Yes. Yes. So Steve is telling Dawn that she's a stair climber. Bet you have those mastered. Hopefully. Hopefully. PJ's here. Welcome, PJ. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm in a new location. Those of you who are Katrina's kits and do the Cook With Me live usually see facing that way. This is the other side of the kitchen. On my couch. Who else has a kitchen or has a couch in their kitchen? Nobody. Um, the person was here to do the self-leveling cement in the living room today. It had to be that part of it had to be self-leveling. Self-leveling cement is a cement. You spread it out and it like and levels itself. Um, but when they were leveling the house, that part couldn't be quite leveled because of the brickwork on the wall. So everything goes out of that room. I might be a little more echoey because it's echoey in there. And this is where the couch landed during that time. So there's my excuse. I did unpack. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. Anyway, I have my herbs unpacked that I had in jars. This is random junk space until I put in shelves, but I have that will be a project later, much later. There's too many things to do before then. All right, let's continue. And PJ's here until she falls asleep. That's good. Oh, Jacob's here. Hello, everyone. And I got excited because Jacob became a Katrina's kit. Awesome. You're going to be joining us on the Cook Me With Me Live. We are making, okay, I thought it was called chicken parmesan. We always called it chicken with the cheese on top. I had my mom actually send me the actual recipe to see what it's actually called because we just always called it chicken with the cheese on top. It is neither of those. It is Italian style chicken scallops. Now scallops, I don't know why it says scallops. It's not like a seafood thing. It is pounded chicken. So I will be making that out of rabbit, and you guys can make it out of rabbit or chicken. Um, Basically chicken breast, and that is scheduled for the 8th, March 8th. So if you want to make that with us, we're making that in potato salad. Make that with us. Join the channel. It's awesome. So welcome. All right, and everybody's saying hi. Hello, hello. Oh, Verna says my daughter loved her shrug. She modeled it for me. Verna, I saw that on your YouTube, and I liked it, but it wouldn't let me comment for some reason. So I'll comment here. It looks fabulous. It really does. You did a really good job. Verna is Vay's place. She is blue with a little wrench, and she catches all the bad guys. She's my moderator. If you are someone who is looking to homestead from your apartment, check out her channel. She has some good things to do. All right. Everybody's saying hi. Oh, that was a jumbo size? Yeah, I think it looked really cozy. Yeah. All right. Yes, Jacob is a new kit. All right. Verna says, I think you'll enjoy your membership. Good, 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 good. Cooking is fun. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. We made all sorts of stuff so far. Oh, you already. Okay, so we're gonna do a little plug here. Let me actually get the link. It's in the description of all the videos anyway. But if you would like to become a Katrina's kit, like Jacob just did, and like PJ is, and I don't know who else is gonna come on here. So here is the link for that. And it is a lot of fun. And if you join all of the previous Cook With Me lives, they're not live anymore, but the recordings are on there. So you can catch up. We have quite the catalog already. I don't know when I started it, but yeah, we have quite a few already that you can learn from. And that will be available to you, which I think is really awesome that you get to see stuff from the past. If you're not a member, you can't even see the playlist. So if you want a playlist, you can, if you want to see the members only playlist, there is a members only playlist and it's awesome. All right. Let's see. Dawn says, I have a truckload of rabbit cages coming to fill up the carport. You are planning, how many is going to fill up? You're planning rabbits. That is awesome. I have a rabbit video that I'm planning. I think, I don't remember if I did an intro for it. So that might go out this week or next week. Yeah. Hi, PJ. Jennifer's here. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And welcome. All right. Buster's here. Says, hey to all. PJ says, I have a couch in my dining room. You do. You do. I don't have a dining room. Again, I moved from a house with no dining room to a house with no dining room. I think probably there was a what is it called? Kitchenette set in the, what I'm calling the study, because it has a wood stove, well, a pellet stove in it. So that's, you could, it's my house. I can name my rooms. Name your rooms if you haven't yet. Come on, guys. All right. Oh, Dawn says, did steps. Awesome, awesome. They're daunting, but once it started, I found them awesome. That is great. That is great. Your watch is running fast, Steve. That's okay. Yes, I agree with Buster. Verna did a great job on her daughter's shrug. So we're talking about a shrug. It's like a shawl with, it has actual sleeve holes, right? But it's like a big comfy thing. Looks comfy. All right. Andy's here. Welcome, Andy. Welcome, welcome. So the rabbits are doing the rabbit tractors. I thought they were going to be processed in 2 weeks, but it looks like they're going to be processed this weekend. So I was off a weekend. I have to reschedule my schedule. But they will be processed this weekend. And after they're processed, Penne's babies are going to go into that tractor. And then I just need to build more tractors. I need to build one more fairly quickly for Ravioli's babies. And then after that, it's going to take a while for the other ones to get old enough. So that is good. I don't like to build these things rushily. That's not a word. Hurriedly. But that's usually what happens. All right. Anyone want to synchronize watches? Yeah. Well, my phone says 6:09 and my computer says 6:09. So if you add a couple hours onto that, that'll be your time. No, Steve, I haven't done that yet. I have not done the Harvest Right talk yet. I have been busy and I've had deadlines. So Erica's here. Erica's another Katrina's kit. It is awesome. And Erica's awesome. Hope you're doing well. All right. Jennifer says, in everyone's opinion, what is the best rabbit to raise for meat? New Zealand or silver fox? New Zealand is going to be bigger. I've never done silver fox, but from what people have told me, not told me, from well, kind of what people have told me, what I've seen on YouTube things and read. Um, some people have issues with New Zealand's attitudes. The New Zealand's that I have had did not have attitudes. In my opinion, if you are going to get breeders, personally, I would choose based on all the other things you're choosing on, the size, their roundness when you squash them together, not squash them together, when they scrunch up, the roundness, make sure their teeth are good, their feet are good. But then also, if you're like, wow, I have these 3 to choose from, choose the friendliest, because it'll be a better experience for you. They'll handle better, they'll come up for pets, it'll just be a better experience for you. So I don't know if that is other people's experience as to why they say no to New Zealand's, but I've had good experiences with New Zealand. So all of my breeders right now are half they're crosses between a Black New Zealand and a Californian. And their mom, Tortellini, was a Black New Zealand, and she was, I mean, she's perfectly good. She came up for pets. She liked attention and all that. And Persimmon, is my current buck. He's also a Black New Zealand, and he is just a love bug. I mean, he comes up for kisses. So as far as attitude, those are things I've heard versus things I've experienced, which are different. And then silver fox, I have heard, are a much calmer in general breed. I've never experienced silver fox, but if other people have opinions about that, go ahead. But that's information I can impart. Don says, I don't know how many cages. All I know is they're all wire, and he is bringing all of them. Oh, okay. You got an all or nothing one, right? I just realized you can see in the other room. That's where everything is from the living room and from over here. Things are in piles right now, guys. Okay. Steve says, you can call any room anything you want. When I was younger, my parents' bedroom was in the dining room, and it was the master bedroom. That makes sense. That makes sense. She feels like a Viking with it on. That is awesome. Yeah, Verna says, I think New Zealand's. Yes, you're awesome. Jennifer says, Verna, thank you. I really like your crochet project. You did a wonderful job. I think she did too. I think so. Andy's rooms are named my room, the craft room, Amanda's old room. One room is now Siri's room, the upstairs bathroom, and my bathroom. Of course, the kitchen, dining room, and front room. You gotta get more creative. More creative. You know what? The study, the quail room, the library. Come on. Make it sound like you have a fancy house. Andy says, I don't like New Zealand's myself. I like California over them. So California is also very sweet. I would say, number one, I would say Andy has more rabbit experience than me. Number two, I would say both my Californian buck, which was Parmesan, and my Black New Zealand doe, and my Black New Zealand buck, all friendly, all really good. So yeah. So Andy, did you like one over the other because of attitude or because of their meat production? And you can always get, I mean, unless you want to do pedigree stuff, you can always get one of each and breed them together, and they have a hybrid, what's called hybrid vigor, which means they basically grow really well when one is one parent, one is one variety with others another variety, and they cross. Yeah. Steve says, if I had rabbits, I'd have to do ugly ones. I can't process cuteness. Oh, Okay, Andy says got rid of all New Zealand's when I got silver foxes. But why? Tell us the why. All right. Verna says, I think silver foxes and celadons have the same problem, too much inbreeding. I don't know anything about that. I mean, I know with the so we're talking about celadons. We're talking about quail that lay blue eggs, and there is an issue throughout. There is a general issue. Not everybody has that issue, but there's a general issue with inbreeding with that. I don't know about silver foxes. Andy says, can you carry 3 New Zealand in one arm? No, but they're big. Yeah, ugly quail, huh? Dawn got ugly quail. What's an ugly quail? They're all cute. Dawn says silver foxes look like cuddly big bears. Yeah. Yeah. Andy says New Zealand needs ADHD meds. What? I think you just got some crazies. Might have been sweethearts. Californians don't. Okay. So the Californian are more chill. Yeah, I know silver foxes are much smaller. Yeah. Andy says my California does were great mothers. They would take anything I put with them. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's kind of personally, I think it's up to the individuals that you get. I mean, if you look at so if we just look at my 4 does, maybe the topic is bunnies. Talk about bunnies. Um, if we look at my 4 does, they are all true sisters from 2 separate litters. The 2 ones that look like Californian, they're white with black, ears, nose, paws, tail. They are from 1 litter. There were also black bunnies in that litter. And then the 2 black ones were the only litter. And how they are raised. Okay, number 1, the white ones that I have, I picked and I handled that litter every day very thoroughly because I knew I was going to pick new breeders from that litter. They were used to be handled. They came up for pets. They were good, and they were uh, pretty much ideal. And so when it came to pick one, I picked the largest female. And then, of course, Ravioli was like, pick me too, because she just always came up for pets. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep one more, which you don't want to do every time, but it turned out okay for this time. With penne and risotto, they're the black does. They're black they actually have some white in their coats. They were not planned to be kept. I probably wouldn't have kept them. Well, unless so what happened is their mom died, and I needed to replace her, and I was like, well, here's your babies. They're 2 females. I guess I'm gonna keep them. Penne was born with half of a foot in the back, so she has a birth defect. She gets around just fine, and she's a good mom and all that. She's a little spicy sometimes to me, but I also didn't handle them every day from birth with intent to keep 1 or more of them. They were 7 weeks old, I think, when their mom died. So then I started to try and start handling them more. And at that point, it was a little too late. And there is a difference in how they act with me. So I guess what I'm saying is how they're raised, I believe, is just as important as what they are. So if they never had human contact and someone's just selling, bunnies that are 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, that's not as good as ones that have had the handling. Does that make sense? let me know if I need to expand on that, and also if other people have input, because I think that that's, if you're going to keep an animal for an extended period of time, that is something good to do. It's helpful if they are if they are readily handled. It's helpful even for processing time. But as far as having, you're going to be dedicating a space, dedicating a job for this animal, and you are going to interact with it, whether it's at a pet level or a breeder level. Having that handled experience is going to go a really long way, and that's for any animal. And I think there's ways to enhance that for any animal, but I really do think there is, I don't know what the time period is, but I really do think there is some time period when they are young that is probably important to get that handling in. So yeah, let me know if that makes sense. I'll see what you guys say. Berta says, with anything else, it's how much patience you are willing to have to train your rabbits. Yeah, makes good sense. Andy says, not so much, what? The champagne and, oh, how do you say that one? How do you say that one? It's not how it looks. Dargent? Anyway, I know what you're talking about. I played with daily from birth. They would still try and kill you. Yeah, so there's a nurture versus nature aspect of it. Is like the difference between Ravioli and Rigatoni. I did not pick Ravioli because she was largest. She was not going to be picked, but she was so darn friendly that she was picked as second. So yeah, you're right in that some of them are just not going to be great, and others will. Yeah, made sense. Good. And ended up on the dinner plate. Yep. Okay, Andy says the champagne one was one I read. So happy to find someone that bought them all from me. Okay. So those were not, so I know isn't that like one of the endangered, I don't know if it's endangered, but endangered varieties. Is that right? Is that right? Or am I thinking of something else? Yeah. Jennifer says, hey, Andy, how many babies do silver fox normally have? That is a good question. I'll let her answer that, but I will answer for mine. The ones I planned to keep and kept, Ravioli and Rigatoni, they definitely have larger litters than the other two, and their babies are definitely more curious and friendly, and I think that has to do with the energy of mom. Yeah, and right now, both Penne and Risotto, the black ones, have 5, and Rigatoni's most recent litter, which is out in the rabbit tractor, was 9, and Ravioli also had 9. One of them was dead. So that was her baby in that video that I tried to save. So 9 is a pretty good number for them. Rigatoni has had 11. That was her last litter before this. But anywhere from like 6 to 9 is kind of regular for those two. And yeah, so I'll be curious to see what they say about the other varieties. Yeah. Made sense to Erica too. Good. D'Argent. There we go. That's how we say it. I knew I wasn't saying it right. Yeah. Isn't it creme d'Argent? Is that it? Okay. Andy says on average 8 and above, but not under 8. Okay. That's good. Yes, and you can see why. Was that me asking if they were endangered because no one wants to breed them? Is that what you're saying? Oh my gosh. Not so popular, which is why they're considered an endangered breed. Okay. Okay. Jennifer says thank you. Yep. This is why we get together. Everybody knows a little of something, and we can ask each other questions. Doesn't have to be me. All right. Katrina says, or not Katrina, I just read that. Dawn says, Katrina, are you handling and playing with all those babies every day now too? So I pet whoever comes to the door of raviolis. Pennes, sometimes I pet because honestly, they're spastic. Like I've kind of made the decision that I should be looking for another breeder, and Penne is not making the cut. I've made that decision, but I also just rebred her, so it's going to happen at some point. Because all of her babies, she's a good mom. She's a really good mom. She takes care of them really good. But her babies are a little spastic. Yeah. So yeah. And then the little babies, so risottos, I don't go in there every day, but now their eyes are opening, so their eyes are opening starting today. Because I did yesterday and today, and I'll be going in more often and all of that, because once their eyes are open all the way, they're going to be going all over the place, and I want them to know who I am. So yeah, I don't give all of them that really good attention, but I do give them attention, and whoever comes up to me gets pet, and whoever I can just kind of reach gets pet. And then the ones in the tractor, I do pet them sometimes when I move them. I've been moving them a few times a day, and go from there. So, yeah. Berna says small rabbit with nice size litters are Havanas. Yep. Okay, there is a cream. Good. Joy is here. Good evening, all from Western Oregon. Good evening, Joy. Jennifer is asking if I have a video on how to build a rabbit. I'm guessing that's hutch. No, I do not. The hutches that I had when I was in California came with the rabbits, and I can tell you what's wrong with them. And the hutches that are here, I hired someone to build, and they did everything wrong. So, I'll tell you real quick what I like about them. Okay. I like that they're large. It's 4 feet by 3 feet. I like it large because so take Rigatoni's largest litter. She had 11 babies. So we had 12 rabbits in that space. And as they get bigger, the space gets smaller. So think about that, and then think about also the weight that holds. So if you're going to have if you happen to have her litter in there all the way to processing time, which you can do, and historically I have done that on the last one of the season, before it gets hot. But I don't know if I can breed year round here or not, if it gets too hot, but probably not. Anyway, so if you leave them in there the last time, then that's a lot of weight. I mean, you're looking at, the rabbits that I was processing is between 6 and 7 pounds, and 6 or 7 pounds plus a 10-pound mom. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you're closing in on 100 pounds on that hutch. And so that's something to really think about, because there's the ones that are homemade. You can make them bigger than the ones that are commercial. I really like having the door instead of the little door catchy thing that opens inward for some reason. Inward opening doors, I don't understand. I know it's because they can't open it going out or going against it. But I like to have a door that opens so that I can actually be in their environment. And 2 feet wide is good for me. So if you're my size, 2 feet wide is good. I can get my shoulders in. I can, reach all the corners and stuff. You want to be able to reach all the corners. Excuse me. And if not, you can use a little thing to move things around. And then it's also important for the flooring. So I have flooring. I haven't put it in yet. I have flooring that's coated, and coated wire is going to be much better on the feet. It's going to be longer lasting and all of that. And you want to make sure the small spacing is on top. So it's like 1 inch by ½ inch. Small spacing on top, large spacing on bottom. And that's good. I like hasp blocks. I don't like the slide bolts. That's what I have right now, but I just haven't replaced them yet. And you want them at a good height. So if you're going to do hutch like me, you're not going to stack them, because some people do have stacking cages, and then you have the poop roll off and you have to deal with that and all that. But if you don't have stacking cages and you have that, it really only has to be like 2 feet tall for the rabbit. They should be able to stretch up. But if you're going to be in their space, that's a little short. It does not need to be as tall as the ones that I have. I don't know why they built them that tall. We're not the instructions. Like literally, they took my instructions, probably ripped them up, lost them, built whatever the heck they wanted. And I have done some fix-its on it, and I will be doing more. Right now, I'm using it because, it's working. But you want it at a good height for you. So if you're going to be the one managing it, then that's going to be something good to know for you. So a good way to do that is to, put up a piece of wood at a certain height, reach over, see how far you can comfortably reach. If you can reach at a good distance, or then use that height. You can go higher, lower, whatever, because you're going to be bringing in and out things out, bunnies and, food and water and all sorts of, whatever you're putting in there. So make it a good height for you. The hutches that I originally got for my original rabbits that came with the rabbits, they were only this far off the ground, which didn't make any sense at all to me, because someone literally would have had to been like on their hands and knees to open it, and that didn't make sense to me. So I guess that's the general gist of it. The roofing should be extended out further than the edges. Mine is not. I have a tarp on it so that the rain doesn't get in. Yeah, those are some general things. Maybe I should do I know I haven't fixed everything, but maybe I should do a general video on that. Remind me and I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Andy says, I almost got an intervention to be committed by my kids, friends, and neighbors over the champagnes once. I think Edward Scissorhands getting mad at me. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Joy says, I would love to raise creams. There you go. Verna's asking, how many rabbits do you usually process in one day when you are processing? That is a tough question. I've only processed rabbits by myself once before. I've always had someone with me handing me the rabbit, and then I can process. So I would say for like doing other things during the day, you can do a litter, and you can get pretty quick about it. And I use the hopper popper. I did get a choke chain, and I am going to try that method. I don't know if I'm going to try a method this time around or later, but I got one. So I think that method is likely going to be a better method by myself, because I won't have to have someone hand me the rabbit. You don't really have to have them hand you a rabbit, but it's easier. So my goal, so there's 9 right now. My goal is to do 9 over a weekend. I should be able to do them all in one day. But I figure I'll give myself the whole weekend to do them. I think I've done 15 in a day. That was with someone handing me them that are like perfectly positioned to do that. If you are doing things super fast and you're not waiting for the animal to calm down, you can do it faster. I like to wait for them to calm down and be calm. You're going to get the best meat out of that. So yeah, thank you for blessing. Andy says if the door opens inward to the top and has a latch to hook it up, it's good. I have one of those. I have one as a spare cage, and I hate it. I don't understand how people can get. I pick up rabbits differently too. I mean, I scruff and then I kind of like get their whole body against me, their feet against me. But if you're trying to you reach in and grab them and drag them, and that seems. I know it's what most people do, but I like doing it a little less rough. Yeah. Andy says, I so agree. I don't like cages over 24 inches deep because I can't reach all around 30-inch cage. Right. And so that's what I'm saying. Like mine are 4 feet this way by 3 feet this way. I can reach. And with a 2-foot door, I can reach, around. And yeah, I might not be able to reach the very corner of that one hut, but you want to be able to reach. And so you want it to be at a height that you can actually reach in. So it's very or it's been very individualized, like make it for you, for your height, for, all of that. Everybody's saying hi. A video of what's wrong. I should just do it because I've done some fix-its already, and I have some footage. I hate to go negative with it, but it kind of has to be done, doesn't it? Rabbit hutches, what not to do. Yeah. All right. That might take a while to put together because I did film some things before they were fixed, and I have to put together old footage. All right. I will do this. Andy says I hung my stacker cages at arm height and the lower cages at comfy chair height. That works. Yeah. So Verna says I agree with Katrina. The wide opening ones that latch open is best. Yeah, because that's the other thing is like the size of nest box that I use would not fit in the hole of the door for the rabbit hutch I have. That is a standalone rabbit hutch that has a door opening inwards. I would have to make a much smaller one to really shove it in there. So yeah, that's another reason is if you're going to have larger rabbits, having the larger size nest boxes. I don't know. I think they're good to have larger sizes, but there you go. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Andy says, one thing I say if you are going to do a top opening cage, top opening, is to build for your bad back, bending and reaching. Yeah. Yeah, I guess the only top opening one I have is the tractors, the rabbit tractors, and that's kind of really the only way to do it. I mean, it's not the only way, but the only sane way for me to build it, at least. Yeah. Oh, Andy's laughing. I have built nesting boxes for the cage doors before. Yeah. I mean, 2-foot opening, you're able to get things in and out easily. And yeah, it's good. Yeah, so top opening like a tractor. Yeah, so that's what I have them in as a tractor. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can do things, but it's having the mindset of how am I going to XYZ? How am I going to reach in to get the rabbit? How am I going to put the rabbit back? How am I going to get in and out a nest box? How am I going to feed them? Right. So I got some. I've had them for a while now. I got their Bass brand feeders, and it's like the blue ones that I had with the mesh on the backside, but they're larger, and it's a larger, like their head can go in more, because that's the problem I had with my ladies, is that the opening of those was it Dumore, whatever that brand is, the openings is so small, and it doesn't let very many out at a time, that they were like scratching at it and stuff. So I want to try these ones. And also they hold more for like when they have babies. Because when they have babies, you're going to have to, feed them 2 or 3 times a day. Yeah. Or, I have big bowls in there right now. And then the other thing would be water. So are you going to use a bowl of water? That's what I've been using since I've been here, because I haven't set up my water system, and then it's been freezing. So like I haven't prioritized that. I do want to have a system like I had in California. And I will put the link for that. Let's see. Water. Let's see. Water. Show off. So this is a guide to getting your, let's see, water, or this will make Everflow waterers that work as long as it's not freezing, and as long as your tap is on. So as long as that's on, there you go. So knowing kind of how that's going to fit into your system is good. I would not put food or water in a corner. I think that's fine maybe with a buck, but not for a mom with babies, because there's too much. They need to get it all the way around. Yeah. Let's see. Green or purple feeders? I don't know the green or purple feeders. Dumar. There we go. That's the brand. I had blue ones. They may make those too. I don't know. Yeah, Vernon had some pretty interesting ones. The no-cut J feeders. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. It like basically clips in without having to cut a hole in your wire. The other thing that you will see on mine that I would have never done is the supporting wire on the sides. The size is fine, but they use the same wire as the floor, which is the 1 inch by 1/2 inch, but it's thinner wire, so it's not. They were supposed to be able to hang. No way are we hanging that. It does not have the support. So using a thicker wire, which will have a wider mesh on the sides, is what's typically done, and then the bottom is the 1 by 1/2. And yeah, that's something you will see on mine that it was not in the plans. Yeah. Andy says, I have a green feeder someone gave me. I pulled it out because the screen got a hole in it. Oh no, the feed doesn't go down to the eating tray well. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was having a problem with, and it wasn't that it wasn't going down okay. It was. It has to be at a particular angle to have the food go into the little feeder tray. And if there wasn't any food coming out, like something got blocked, then my girls would grab it with their teeth and go ching, ching, ching. And, then of course the angle's all off. So, yeah, I'm hoping that these feeders will be good. And I've been feeding them in the bowls right now. I'm doing the water anyway. I'm out there anyway. It doesn't really matter right now, but I do have them. I also got some interesting waterers, which we'll see. We'll see. They need instructions because they didn't come with instructions and they don't make sense to me. But you guys will see that at some point. Yeah. So bunnies are doing good. Did I miss anything for hutch design? I mean, I know I probably did like specifics, but as far as general things, yeah. Steve says our rabbits would turn the full feeder upside down constantly until we gave them clover or hay. If they had hay, they'd leave their feeder intact and eat from it. Yeah. Yeah. So I have plans to be planting a bunch of stuff so the pasture right now is basically just wild oats, which is, it's not diverse. And then the hay field, I don't know what's all in it because I don't know. I know some of the grasses, but I don't know all of them. So I'll probably have someone out to look at it, honestly, that knows what they're talking about. Because I don't know what's there. I don't know how to improve it if I don't know what's there. But for sure, the pasture part needs something other than wild oats. Yeah. Andy says, I have a few of those feeders Verna is talking about. I got 1 or 2 from Verna. I'm going to build more. Good. All right. Dawn's asking Andy a question. Yeah. Rabbits are very easy to raise. Their mom does all the work. I mean, they really don't take much work. I mean, I pet them and spend some time with them when I go feed them, but you don't have to. I mean, you have to feed them, but you don't have to spend much time. I mean, you can feed everybody in 5 minutes if you wanted to. They get fed once a day. I feed in the evening. I think most people feed in the morning, but I am not a morning person. So I would rather feed in the evening because guess what? Bunnies aren't morning people either. They are so much more active at night. I've had ones that when I was feeding in the morning, when I started, I would feed them in the morning, and then like I would see them in the afternoon. There wouldn't be hardly anything eaten, and then in the morning it'd be gone. So they do eat most of their meal, except for when they're growing their babies, during the evening and the night. So that's what I do. It doesn't matter as long as it's once a day. It doesn't matter. You can do twice a day if you want, if you really felt the need to do that, but once a day is fine. Twice a day if they have babies or if they're grow-outs. Because when they have babies or if they're growing out, then they get unlimited food. So when they have unlimited food, your feeders go dry very quickly, depending on how many babies they have, like 9. All right. Yeah, so rabbits are really, really, really good to raise. And, if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I thought this was the garden person or the forest person. Yes, you're in the right channel. However, I do a whole bunch of different things. And if you are not interested in raising rabbits for food, that is fine. If you are interested in gardening or in food forest or in any of these growing of things, you might want to get interested in rabbits because rabbit manure is one of the best manures out there. It is a cold manure, which means it doesn't have nitrogen in it. And so for those that don't know, birds don't pee. They do not pee. So all of that stuff that would have otherwise gone out in urine stays in their poo and goes, it's all in there. So it's all there. So that's why you're not supposed to use chicken manure straight, fresh, because there's too much nitrogen in it and it will burn your plants, which means the edges of the leaves look burnt. They honestly look like sunburn or something, because they get too much nitrogen. Now, because rabbits pee, that nitrogen goes out in the urine. So they have rabbit manure that you can literally put on your garden. You can literally plant into it. I think Andy's done this, where you have a pot of rabbit manure, you plant into it. And things do really well. It also breaks down very quickly into basically the soil or the compost or whatever. And it works really, really well. So even if you're not raising rabbits for food, you may consider raising them for their nutritive value. So they don't have to be on wire. I raise them on wire. It's the cleanest way, the healthiest way, in my mind. They don't have contact with the soil. They have, any of the urine and stuff goes through the wire. They're not sitting in their own filth. There are people who would challenge that, and that is okay. But perfectly fine to have them on the ground. There is some danger of that if you have like I haven't seen rabbits here, wild rabbits, since I moved in. So I don't know if this was an area that already got hit by RSV or if just got hunted out by animals or whatever. But the interesting thing about that is if I don't have wild rabbits, then I have very low to no risk for rabbit diseases. And if you do live in an area that has RSV, which is what is it? Rabbit? Oh my gosh, hemorrhagic disease, RHV2. RHV2? I'm saying the wrong thing. RSV is a human disease. This is RHV, and then there's a 2. Rabbit hemorrhagic disease. If you have it in your area, then I would give pause about tractoring your animals without further protection for them, because that is a highly deadly disease. Not RSV, RHV2. And it is, it's a good way to move them around and not have them sit in their filth, right? You move it. I'm moving these guys 3 or 4 times a day right now because there's 9 of them in there, and they're on an area that's it's not growing very much right now, but moving them every day or twice a day or whatever. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Rabbit hemorrhagic disease. I think there's a 2 on the end of this one. All right, let's scroll up and see what people say. All right. Jennifer says, at what age do you process your rabbits, please? I process at 12 weeks. A lot of people process before that. Anywhere between 8 and 12 is typical. A 5-pound rabbit is considered a good size for processing. I generally wait until they're 6 or 7 pounds. I just figure, it's kind of like raising quail. I know some people in here are quail people. People generally process quail at 8 weeks old, but when they're 10 weeks old, they're going to be a little bigger. But the cost it takes to get there with the feed and all of that, like, doesn't quite make it. It doesn't process well. Not that it doesn't process. The animals process fine. It doesn't. It becomes a more expensive meat when you do that. I think the same is probably true with rabbits, but if you only have so many individuals, I want more meat off of them. So I do 12 weeks. Now these guys have been on pasture for a little bit. They're also getting pellets, but they're getting a lot of their nutrition from the wild. It's not really wild. So yeah, 5 pounds is what people generally do. I wait until 6 or 7. It'll be interesting to see with them now on the pasture. It might take a little longer to get to those weights, but it's gonna cost less once I have them on good stuff. Right now it's just the grass and whatever is growing over there. But once I actually plant stuff for them, like the clovers and all of these things, they'll pack on the protein faster. So short answer, 8 to 12. I do 12. Not 8 to 12. I guess 8 to 12. 10 to 12, really. And I do 12. All right. Andy says, when I built new cages, I bought new feeders and found those feeders a few months later. Yeah. If I would have found them first, I would have had them all in my cages. The screens are starting to tear out on all the ones I bought. Yeah. Yeah. So the ones I got from Bass, they look like they're good. Should I show you guys? I'll show you guys. They're just on the other side of this wall here. Okay, so that's a big feeder, right? And they can fit their head in here. It's much bigger. And then it has mesh on the back. Now, the importance of the mesh on the back is not important if you have a buck. If you have does that have babies, it's going to be more important, because what happens is as the feed sits in there and you're feeding them, you're filling this up like twice a day, 3 times a day. It's going to gather dust, and then it'll clog up the system. So this lets the dust go through, and will be good. So I'm not exactly sure how it's supposed to connect to things, except for this is a lip, and then there's like tabs right here, and this is a lid supposedly, but I don't know how they connect. I think it actually goes this way. I don't know how this is supposed to work. It doesn't, maybe like that, and it goes like that, but that doesn't make sense because this is a wall. I have to probably call them and ask for directions, because I know they're supposed to work, but in any case, it's a much bigger feeder than what I've had in the past, and that's really what I searched for, is large rabbit feeders. That's what I searched for when I was looking on the internet. I didn't know about Bass before. Yeah, this is what it says. Yeah, you can read that. There we go. So Proby Feed Saver, manufactured by Bass Equipment Company. Monet is MO Missouri. Yeah, Missouri. So anyway, that's what I have. And we'll see how it works. Hopefully it works well. All right. Andy says, when you're tired of feeding them, it's time for them to feed you. There you go. And that's the other thing, is like, you can grow food for them. You can feed them more on hay. You can feed them more on other things. If you feed them on pellets, that's the fastest way to get them to get big, because it's like perfect formula for that purpose. But yeah, lots of different ways to do that. And PJ says duck and goose manure is liquid gold for the garden too. Are they less nitrative? Are they less nitrogen than the other ones? Duck poo stinks, I can tell you that. Andy says, yes, I planted straight into the rabbit poop and planters. Yep. Llama and goat poo is also, that is true. So llama and goat is also cold manure. Alpaca, all those guys. Okay, Andy says she's butchered at 6 weeks before. I have butchered early before. Like my last batches in California, I butchered early just because I needed them to be in the freezer instead of, in this other, you know, I was not going to pay to get all of them to go to the vet before I moved to Oregon just to process them. So they got processed a little early. I don't remember how old they were, but they were smaller than usual. They weren't like babies, but yeah. All right. Dawn says, I have lots of rabbits in my yard. They know a fenced yard is protection, not. They come in abundance until owls have wiped them all out. Yep. Yep. We're gonna put the link for rabbit feeders. I'm guessing that's the one that you use, the no cut. Yeah. So Andy's talking about the rabbit hemorrhagic disease. It's called number 2 because it's the second strain, and because they got immune to number 1. Yeah, it's a different, it's the same kind of disease but second strain. If they're over 12 weeks old, you may be able to keep your hides, Vernon says. Yeah, so when you do the hide stuff here, not here with rabbits, the younger they are, the more the tougher their skin is. No, the older they are, the tougher their skin is. And I've processed at 13 weeks, I think. 13, I think it was 14 weeks. I think we had to delay a couple weeks because of plans. And they were noticeably tougher at that point. Not necessarily the skin itself, but the connective tissue. And males also have a stronger connective tissue. That's what I've noticed when skinning them. But just by skinning them, you can tell if it's male or female often, because the males have a tougher connective tissue. Same is true with quail. It's just they're much easier. But the same is true with quail. Yeah. Andy says, it's dead of winter here. We had negative degrees, and I have silver fox that is shedding. Yeah, no, they do their own schedule, don't they? Oops, sorry, guys. Yeah. What was on the back of the feeder at the top corners outside? This? That? It's a tab. So I think this attaches to this somehow, except for that doesn't make sense to me because it looks like it. There we go. It looks like it like hooks onto something, and this I don't know. Like it doesn't make sense to do it because I think this goes this way. I don't know. I'll have to get instructions. And I had to buy the lid separate from the container, which I thought was interesting. But before I install these, I need to extend the roofs outward because I don't want it to rain on them. So yeah. Anyway, try the angle inside the feeder. This angle, it doesn't fit inside. I mean, go like this. That's not going to work. I'm pretty sure it goes like this. And maybe this lifts up like that. Maybe they're not supposed to be actually connected. That's probably what it is. Anyway. It said Monet. Oh, Monet, the town. Yeah, it's Monett. Monet. Local to you, okay. Oh, okay. It is said. It's not in Illinois. Illinois always says things wrong. Like Orion instead of Orion, and San Jose instead of San Jose. Okay, it's called Monette. Okay, got it. Yes, waterfowl does process waste different than poultry. They don't pee though. Interesting. And Dawn is seconding how it's pronounced. Okay, now we know. Now we know. Verna says, if you want the fur, make them females. It's not up to us. So they're not so hard to skin. Male connective tissue is a trial. Yeah, exactly. So the male connective tissue is different. It's tougher. It's and the older they get, the more noticeably different it is. Yeah. How tall is that feeder? You want to know? Okay. Sorry if my butt was just on camera. How tall? Because everybody keeps a tape measure in their kitchen too, right? All right, top to bottom. We're looking 9¼ inches. Side to side at the widest point is 5⅛. So 9¼ 5⅛. Well, almost. It's like 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/16. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Maybe it's the lid not supposed to set flat. It might not be. I kind of think that these are to attach to the cage, and I think that's where it pivots from, and it just kind of hovers over it. I think that's probably how it works. Have you thought about YouTubing it? Type the brand name. Yes, I have, and I think I did at one point, and there wasn't much information, but I'll have to do it again. I was researching all sorts of stuff, but I just wanted something bigger than what I had. Yeah. My goodness, we are getting technical. Is this the bendy part of the lid? That is uh, a 16th of an inch shy of 2 inches. 1 and 15/16. That part. Okay. What I'm wondering if the tabs on that lid may not be designed to hook on the top of the cage so it flips up. Yeah, so that's what I think. That's why I think it goes like this. You guys can't see. There's the clips. I think it goes like that. Yeah. Dawn says, I lived in the Ozarks, Missouri, and it was Monette just because I'm in Illinois now. Okay. All right. Dawn has a tape measure in the kitchen too. Okay. And in the living room. We can't find our tape measure. We know we own at least 7 of them. Steve, oh my gosh, I sympathize with you. I've had 2 contractors almost walk off with my tape measures just by accident. Like just because I had them out. So now I have to hide them whenever a contractor is here. I was like, do I have any tools out? I had one that accidentally put I have a 4 foot long level on his truck. He thought it was his coworkers. I went out there. I'm like, oh, did you guys take my level? He's like, what? Oh, is that yours? Yeah, it is. So yes, I understand this. I understand this. Um, Verna has a tape measure and a measuring tape on the desk. Good. Does the lid hook to the cage and the base slide into it off of? No, there is no attachment. The only thing on the top are these tabs that there is nothing on the bottom to attach to, so I don't know. I'm guessing these tabs are what attach it to the actual hutch. But I don't have any information. I will let you guys know once I know. And he says, so with feeder 9 inches and the lid is 2 inches and you set it up against the cages at 4 inches, that is 15 inches. Most cages are 15 inches tall. Most of them are 15. That's it. Yeah. That would be pretty low for a feeder, though. I mean, I think it's low for a feeder. Because that, since we're measuring things. Katrina measures things. Welcome to Katrina Measures Things. That height is like 1.5 inches off the floor. If this was all the way on the floor, or if this was at floor level, that's only 1.5 inches. It seems like that's not really high enough, is it? From what I don't know. I guess it's fine. Okay, the tabs on the feeder flip out to the cage. That's what I figured on this. That's how I think it attaches. All right, Dawn has tape measure, light distance to my hydroponic plants. There you go. That makes sense. And measuring for knitting. That's good. 4 inches from the top of the floor. Yeah, that seems better because it would be, that might be a little high for the top. Anyway, yeah. There we go. Rabbits being the topic of the day. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised they didn't come with instructions. Maybe they're just so easy to figure out for everybody else that they don't need instructions. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting with the lid. Because for me, why wouldn't you have a lid, right? But I know for a lot of people, they probably like, for the people that have them like a rabbit house, like this is their business, this is what they do. They probably don't want feeder lids because they can just go doom, 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 doom. But yeah. Anyway, that is the feeder I got, and I got enough for all the moms and 4 tractors. So I didn't get one for Percy because he doesn't need one that big. Instructions are guidelines. Most people don't follow instructions. Hey, I will. Is there a set distance from the floor for kits to eat? I don't think so. I think Andy said 4 inches, but I'm trying to think of where. I think mine were maybe 3 inches before. I've never seen any guidance on that. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. If somebody has seen some guidance with some like interesting data, that would be nice. I mean, it would be okay to have it be low, but a rabbit can fit in here. So that's the only other concern about it being larger, is that a rabbit can just end up sitting in the food, which is not good. But they're probably less likely to sit in one that doesn't shelf out and they have to like be in it. I don't know. We will see how it goes and go from there. Yeah, Verna says kits will get in the food bowl no matter how high or low you set them. Yep. Yep. Most manufacturers nowadays have instructions manuals online. True, they do not. I checked that one. Yeah, and the things that are annoying is like computer things or camera things, or mostly camera things. I'm like, why is it online if I'm going to be out in the world when I'm doing something, right? If I'm going to be out in the world doing something, I mean, I have internet access, Yeah. Yeah, but Verna is right. Kits, oops, sorry. You guys are on a box. Kits will get in the food bowl no matter what. And yeah, they will. They think they're cute. Yeah, my system has been working so far. And I've actually moved to, for the ones with more babies or older babies, I've moved to the rubber dishes that are like that big, and they've been going through quite a bit of water, which surprised me how much water they're going through. But they're going through quite a bit of water, and then the food, of course. But yeah, yeah. Okay, Steve says 2 inches for kits, 4 inches for adults per Rabbit Talk Online. I don't know about Rabbit Talk Online. But the thing is this is going into the hutch and staying there. I'm not going to be raising and lowering it. So maybe my 3 inches is okay? Yeah. So rabbits typically open their eyes between 10 days and 14 days. And then by the time they open their eyes is when they really start like being more active and jumping out and getting back in, and they're trying to get back in. So I also use a brick. So I have a brick in there. It doesn't have to be brick. It's just a brick because it's the size I need to make a step. And so they can get back in. So that's another thing I have in there. You may notice right now tomorrow I'll put it in front of the nest box, but in some video you might see like some rabbits just have a brick in there. It's just because they haven't moved it out. There's no reason to. It's just something extra, a little more furniture, right? And then some of them have it in there, but it's not in front of the nest box yet, and that's because the young ones aren't really old enough yet. But yeah, Risotto's babies are going to be running around here pretty soon. So yeah. Steve says the thing we say about quail applies to rabbits. There is more than one way to raise. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. There's more than one way to raise. I mean, there are some big no-nos. There are some big yeses, but yeah, there is more than one way to raise. And I intend. I mean, I'll always have pellets as a good source for them. But I do intend to grow a lot of the food, especially when they have, like when they're being tractored. I can put them over the plants. Yeah. Steve says, how old are the kits when you remove the nest box? Typically, I remove the nest box at 3 weeks old when mom is rebred. So I typically rebreed mom and she comes back home to no nest box. Unless it is cold, then I let them have it for another week or so. Basically, once all of them are out of the nest box, then they are really fine. Sometimes as a group, they'll keep going to the nest box at night or to sleep. And sometimes they will not use it anymore and they'll just scrunch up in the corner or whatever. So that is something that is weather dependent, but typically 3 weeks unless it's cold. And I know a lot of people have winters harsher than mine, but that may have a different technique, or they may have a different protection method for them. I know the thing not to do is to completely wrap the hutches so they don't have any breathe, not just breathing, but like evaporative stuff going on, because condensation is not good when it gets super cold. So having some sort of airflow is good, but maybe blocking, putting up something on the lower part and blocking wind and stuff like that is a good idea. Yeah. So yeah, I take out the nest box when they're 3 weeks old, and I typically wean. I haven't this year yet because I haven't built the tractors enough. But I typically wean at 5 weeks old. But you can do all the way up to process if you want. But the thing to pay attention to is on your calendar, when did you rebreed mom? Give her, a week and a half at least of no babies before she has more. Again, there are people that do it back to back, and that's how they do it, but I'm telling you how I do it. So it gives her her body enough of a break and all that. There are people that breed way sooner than that. There are people that wean at 4 weeks old. I have heard stories of, and I don't remember what it's called, but there's something with milk withdrawal in that time that can cause the young real problems. And I don't know if it happens in certain breeds or certain timing, or I don't know much about it, except that 4 weeks old can be too early, but they can also survive at that. So they start eating solid food really as soon as they get out of the nest box. You'll see them munching on pellets. Now, how much of it actually gets in them and is being eaten, I don't know. But you'll see them pretty much as soon as they get out of the nest box, in that second, after they're 2 weeks old, really in the third week, they kind of start munching. And even after that, when they are munching on pellets and you're like, wow, these guys are eating a lot, mom's still nursing them. So they're eating solid food and getting nursed at the same time. And they nurse only a couple times a day, 2-3 times a day. And you're going to be really lucky if you see them nurse. And I have a good relationship with my does. And I've seen every single one of them nurse. But Risotto has been going in, like after I check on her babies, they go, they do little squeaks. She goes in and nurses after I'm done checking them out because they're making noises, and so they must be hungry. Yeah, so they're good. All right. Dawn says, I'll catch the rest. That was tomorrow. Have a good night, and thank you. Have a good night. Thanks for coming. Everybody's saying good night. Verna says, I watch the doe when she keeps jumping away from the kits, then it's about time to take them away. So they sometimes they'll wean them right away, and sometimes, like Meatball, she's no longer with us. Meatball, there was one litter at the very end, like at the very end of the season, I just kept them with her. She loved being mom. She loved it. Like you could tell she loved it. And she was the only rabbits that when I processed her babies, which did it out of sight, I do it out of sight of the adults. But they were no longer, not just processed. When I weaned her babies, she would like cry, and she'd make sounds, and she would come over for comforting. She loves her having babies and being a mom, but she was nursing them at 12 weeks when they were about to be processed. And the poor mama, she's standing like this because they stand when they nurse and the babies are underneath. And she's standing like this, and she has like 9 babies, like 9 big babies, 9 6-7 pound babies nursing on her. Poor girl. But she absolutely loved being a mom. Yeah. And then others will say, okay, it's time to stop. Yeah. Yep. And again, that's independent. Every mom is different. Well, we've been on a rabbit kick. This is a good conversation, but is anybody waiting in the wings to talk about something else? We don't want to exclude anybody. I've been thinking about starting seeds and I haven't done it yet. So it's going to happen at some point. Yeah, I need to actually set them out and look through them and probably get tomatoes and peppers planted inside, which I need to set up my inside setup. I don't know if it'll happen this weekend or next weekend, but yeah. Andy says, I have found if I put the feeder at 4 inches and put fresh hay in, babies will eat the hay and take a day or so longer to eat feed. And I never have had bloat in the babies. I've never had bloat in them either. Does bloat? I thought bloat mostly came from the green vegetation, not hay, like with moisture. Too fast. Is that wrong? I don't know. But they've been completely fine with eating pellets. They start eating the hay in the nest box. So that's going to be the first thing they start eating is the hay in the nest box. Yeah, they'll eat that. Verna says that's the advantage of watching your does. You know them and what they like. Exactly. Yeah, have a relationship with the breeders, I think, is the best. Not everybody does that, but I try to. My goodness, it is raining. We had wind advisories through the night. It was so windy today. Yeah. Andy says if they eat too fast, young can get bloat. Okay. Yeah, I've not had that happen. And they transferred to the fresh grass pretty well. The grow outs, and I did not bring them fresh stuff, and I should have, and I was stressed and just getting things done at the time. And yeah, but they are on grass and they are doing great. It's so cute because when I go out and it's time for them to move, they all come to one side and go, "Are you coming? Are you going to move us?" And then I go over there and move them, and then they immediately start num 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 num. And it's so funny because like it took a couple days before they really trained themselves. I was actually surprised at how fast it happened. But when I came over there and I started lifting up, it took them a couple days to realize that they had to put their feet on the wire because the wire on the bottom of the tractor is 3 inches by 2 inches. So it's not like they're just on it all the time, but they have to like, oh, let me find a wire to stand on. And so they do that now. Like all of them do that. The other day, I put it down and must have gone on one of their foots because they squeaked. It wasn't a scream, it was a squeak. And so I picked it up real quick, and I don't even know which one it was. But yeah, it's pretty funny. They got used to it really quickly, and I think they really like it. So yeah, I need to recount my weekends though, or my dates though, because maybe I just thought we were in last week instead of this week. Yeah, maybe that's it. We're almost done with February, guys. What happened? Rain will start at Verna's at after 2. Yeah, they do learn very quickly, very quickly. Because I haven't put it up yet, and I was going to at the beginning, I'll probably do it next week. But for those of you that have not seen the year in review video yet, year in review, here is a link to that, and it's a bunch of pictures, tells you what I did, what's coming up, and all that. And yeah, I know it's February, but it took a very long time to put this together. I did not realize how long it was going to take to put together, and I was going to do something more intricate, and I'm deciding, no, this is the way to do it, except for I need to get the pictures from the videos as I do them, not go back and take screenshots because it's not as clear. But that's what I had to end up doing because it was just not happening any other way. So yeah. Yeah, rabbits do learn. They learn very quickly. They learn very quickly, and yeah, keep them busy, keep them entertained. And I have where I have the tractor right now is up next to the garden. And so they've done that whole top part next to the garden now, which that is going to be more garden. I don't know when that's happening, but the garden's going to be expanded this year. And then I guess I'm going to go around on the outside of the garden this way and see what happens there. Who knows? I may even take them into the garden and have them eat the weeds. That's probably a good idea, huh? Have them fertilize inside the garden. I'll have to do that on a weekend, though, so I can move them like really often because there's not as many plants in there. Yeah. So anyway, that is the plan. Yeah. And I need to be making more rabbit tractors for sure. I got enough wood, I think. Have you guys tried to get wood at the big box stores? Yeah. I would never order wood from any place. I want to pick it out because honestly, the amount of wood that is soaking wet and never was dried is very high. The amount of wood that is bent and warped is high. The amount of wood that is not straight lined and has knots all over it is high. Like the quality wood is just not there. You have to pick through. I spent a lot of time picking through, and sorry if you are going to the store after me because I got all the good stuff. Oh, yeah, use that free labor. Exactly, Verna. Sweet or white? Sweet or white what? Clover? I'm guessing. Did I say clover? I don't know what sweet or white is. And if you're talking about clover, I don't know. I haven't done the research. Sorry. There's a fruit fly. Yeah, it's good to have the rabbits do that work. I mean, I was thinking goats for the what's it called? Knapweed. But yeah. Andy says she was going to plant potatoes. I totally missed that comment. Oh, I'm thinking I may try to plant potatoes again this year. Awesome. Awesome. No wonder your comment didn't make sense. I totally did not see yours. I'm sorry, Andy. Hey, plant both. Plant both. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing yet in that realm. I know I want to do sweet potatoes and probably and other potatoes, but I know I want to do sweet potatoes. I haven't really figured out where. If I want to do that in the garden or if I want to wait and see if I can set something up in the food forest. I'll probably do it in the garden. So the food forest stuff is moving ahead. Not really. I got a measuring wheel. That's how it moved ahead. So I need to measure it. I need to order fencing. I need to find someone that is licensed and bonded to do the trees. Because I do not want to cut trees near my house. I want someone licensed and bonded to do that. And I don't want to be the one to cut trees by the power line. So other trees I feel confident to cut, but at least those ones I don't think so. And at that point, I might as well see what else they can do because of time. So I'm at the point that I don't have much time available. Yeah. Oh, Andy says, no, not sweet. Don't have room for the vines. You know, you can flop the vines back over each other. You just keep on flopping them. Yeah. They make good sweet potatoes. In the past, I've gotten sweet potato starts from Baker Creek, rareseeds.com, and they have some really good varieties. They have some really tasty varieties. And it's funny because, like, when you buy them from the store, sometimes you'll get a good one, sometimes you'll get one that isn't very good. Yeah. Yeah. And he says, I don't blame you, Katrina. That's why I paid someone to cut my tree. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with cutting trees. I understand how to fell a tree. I've done this before. It's been years, but I've done it. But when there's that much work to do and there's little time and a lot, quite a bit is going to be around these things, it just makes sense to pay someone that is licensed and bonded. Yeah. Whereas the sweet potato vines, your rabbits and quail will eat them. Yep. I think everything can have them. Is that true? Am I lying? Yeah. But sweet potatoes are good. Verna, did you redo your sweet potatoes? So Verna planted didn't plant. Verna started sweet potatoes, but then thought it was not. Some places spray sweet potatoes so they won't sprout to lengthen the selling season. And if they've been sprayed, then they often won't sprout. Sometimes I guess you can wash it off and it'll sprout, but I don't think hers sprouted. But yeah, let me know if you did another one. I think you're going to try an organic one, right? I'm curious. Mm. So those did not produce. Have to order more. Okay. Well, Andy, if you're the only one that eats sweet potatoes there, you might as well grow your own, right? That way you'll know you'll get all of it. I like sweet potatoes. I like good sweet potatoes. Yeah. Good sweet potato fries are super good too. Like not this little stringy ones, but like big thick ones that get nice and crispy on the outside and nice and soft on the inside. That's the best. That's the best. Yeah, good point. So Verna's saying, Andy, your animals will love them. Grow them underneath your rabbits. See what happens there. Yeah. You don't have to skin them. Yeah, there's no reason to skin sweet potatoes. You can eat the skin. Yeah. Yeah, steak fries. That's what they are. Sweet potato steak fries. Is that what they're called? Not like the big wedges, which would also be good. But yeah, you're good. Yeah, you don't have to peel them. You just eat the skin. The skin of sweet potatoes has some good stuff in it. I can't tell you off the top of my head what it is, but I know it has good stuff. And if you get good ones, then you won't have a very obvious statement. If you get good ones, they won't be gross. If you get good ones, then if you get certain varieties, then they won't. You won't have to like be, oh, that was a bad peel. Versus I don't peel them, I eat around the peel. Andy, you never eat the skin? It's good. It's good. Do you eat the skin on a baked potato? There's no reason to peel them. Yeah. Just eat it. Yeah. Sweet potatoes are super good. Yeah. You eat potato skin. Yeah. Steve's chiming in here. You skin them? No, I don't. Um, yeah, if you don't have to skin them. See, we just saved you so much time. and gained you so many nutrients. Yeah. Rabbit brain. Oh, yeah. So I have to tell you about Ringo. He is doing better, and it's so funny because Mama Kitty super missed him. I think she missed him more than he missed her. Um, she was out there by herself because her last baby died, got ran over. Uh, Basically the same day that I brought him inside. And so she was like lonely girl. And that is it was so sad. They were talking to each other through the door, meow, 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 and all of that. And I didn't know what was going to happen when they reunited, but she is so funny. She's like bonking her head into him and like all of that. And so then my neighbor that moved gave me a cat tower, and so it's in the carport. And Ringo was, cuddled up in on one of the levels, and she came up from behind and like wanted to share it with him. Like there's two cat beds out there, and today they were both in the same one, and it's all totally her wedging herself in next to him. It's so funny. And even today, I was petting Ringo up by the feeder, the by where the bulls are, and I was petting him, and she came and was bonking into him while my hand was right here. So I'm like, "Who? I wonder." And I was like this on here, and she was like, "Ooh, this is nice." I don't think she knew I was petting her. I think she thought that was Ringo. Because later, when I tried and she was close, she's like, "What? What are you doing?" Um, but it means there's hope. But poor Mama Kitty, she is getting her fix, and he's actually gotten annoyed with her a few times. Like, "Oh my gosh, are you done?" Yeah. Did his rival leave? Um, I only saw him a couple nights. Um, Ringo spent the night outside last night because I couldn't find him to bring him in, and he was fine. Um, I think I'm gonna let him be outside tonight. I can listen for the yowls. I obviously didn't hear it before, but yeah. Um, anyway, so yeah, I don't, I'm assuming Mama Kitty is probably pregnant again because that's probably why the other one came by. Yeah. He took he took to going back outside okay, just great. I did record it, and it's kind of funny because I kind of got to see he was trying to remark areas. So I think I know at least on this side of the road where his boundaries are. It's really close to the house, which is what I figured. Um, he went through the culvert underneath the road. So I don't know where he goes over on the other side of the street, but on this side, it's pretty much like a little bigger than the yard and where the rabbits are in the garden, uh, at least where he was marking. But yeah, it was so funny because I carried him out, and he let me carry him around for a while. I'm like, okay, where you want to go? And then I put him down, and he didn't like he wasn't purring or anything. He was just like, looking around. But he did completely fine. He went off and started marking things, and I mean, I say marking. I don't know how they mark when they're after they've been fixed, because he was neutered when he was under. Um, so I don't know what they mark with or whatever during that, but he was definitely trying to do that. Um, don't know if anything comes out at that point, but there you go. Yeah, he did that really well. Yeah, he was inside for um really 2.5 weeks. So 2 weeks is okay to go outside, but that would have been last Monday. And he had a vet appointment on Wednesday to get his shots because they didn't give him his shots when he was there the first time because his fever was too high. So so that's when his shots, and then he goes back in 3 weeks. from that point to get another set of shots. So his rabies and his feline, whatever the feline and disease is. Yeah, so that was on Wednesday, and then I let him out on Friday because they said it might be a day or two of him being a little sluggish. Not Friday. I let him out on Saturday just so I could be with him when he went outside. So yeah. I was going to bring him in every night for a while, but I think he's okay. Hopefully. I know he's okay. My reason for wanting him to come inside was the other cat that has been coming around, but I think that cat's gone now. They will pee on anything. Yep, that's true. That's true. Andy says rubbing their chins and backing up and lifting the tails and peeing on things. Yeah, it's the second one that he was mostly doing. He did rub his chin on some things, but he was doing the whole lift the tail. Yeah. I just wonder how his marking is different now that he doesn't have his little boy parts. I don't know. But yeah, he definitely did. He made the rounds and all that, so he's doing good. Mama Kitty's being clingy mama. But if she has kids, they're not his, so that's the good thing. I plan on getting her fixed eventually, but honestly, if she's pregnant now, we'll let her have what she has and go for next time. And I don't know if she doesn't go in heat, I don't know if that other cat will even come around. Because that other cat, I've only seen it a couple times, and pretty much other neighbors say like that's a cat no one likes, and my inkling then is it doesn't belong to anybody, so it's probably just a roaming cat, the roaming male, and yeah. It didn't seem to bother her any. She was laying in her bed while I'm guessing it's a he, while he and Ringo were yowling at each other through the window, and she was perfectly fine. So that's why I'm thinking it's a male, and I think that she was in heat. Yeah. She can still be fixed if she's pregnant. Yes, they can do that. I would like to work with her a little bit more to see if I can get her more used to me before she gets into that situation, because she's going to have to be inside for a couple weeks after that. In the dog crate basically, and then in the laundry room. So I will have to be interacting with her in an enclosed space. So if I can, I can spend that time. And honestly, the neighbors were wanting some kittens, so if she has them, we can do that. But yeah. Anyway, it's interesting. A lot of people want cats here because of the rodent issues, and a lot of people, might have there's people who might have too many cats, and then there's people that might have too many rodents. So, yeah. Yeah, Andy says when I got my girl fixed, she hid behind the couch for 2 full days before she came out. Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I mean, if I can have the time, which I do, I want to be able to have her feel a little bit more comforted. And then I also, since Ringo just got out there, I want to make sure that he has a buddy for a while and all of that. So, plus, the appointments are still months out. It's just Ringo got in early because he was injured. And male surgeries are much easier than female surgeries. So, yeah. Yeah. There you go. Jacob's back. Had some problems to attend to. Hopefully everything's better. We talked most of the night about rabbits, and now we're talking about Ringo and Mama Kitty. These are cats. And yeah, welcome back. If there's any other topics you want to throw out some topics. Yeah, it's having Ringo not come in last night. I was a little nervous about that because it was like his second night out, and that cat had just been there a couple nights before, and all of that. All good. So I was a little nervous about it, but at the same time, he was fine. He was there in the morning, no issues. So getting love from Mama Kitty. Yeah. And he said, yes, they are. My boy kitten didn't even have any downtime. He just kept going like nothing happened. Yeah, if Ringo, if I would have let him, he would have been just completely fine. But he did have to wear a cone, and he was taking for his infection in his arm, he was taking an antibiotic for 10 days anyway. So yeah. So about half of that time he was confined to the dog crate, and then about half of that time he could go in the laundry room, and have a little bit more freedom. So yeah. Myrna says it is easier to get males fixed than it is females fixed on all mammal species. Yeah, well, we have it's external versus internal, right? Plus, females are always more expensive. Come on. Oh, I took a picture at some point of there's an adapter, and there's a male threaded adapter which has the thread on the outside, and a female threaded adapter which has the thread on the inside of the pipe. And they were right next to each other. And the female adapter, that's a male adapter, female adapter. The female adapter was much more expensive percentage-wise than the male adapter. And I remember taking a picture of it, putting it on Facebook, and going and saying, "See, females are more expensive everywhere." Yeah. Welcome to being a female. Anyway. Yeah, it's cheaper, it's easier recovery. Yeah, for sure. Guys laughing at me. It's true. It's true. Plus, boys gets pockets. All right, guys. So tomorrow's video is going to be. I put together a cart. It's going to be putting together a dump cart. I have not edited it yet. It is what I'm doing after I get off of here. And then, depending on what is going on tomorrow, it's either going to be for Thursday, it's either going to be a rabbit video or it's going to be a Ringo video. And I think I kind of have enough footage for a two-parter for Ringo, so I'm kind of thinking about pushing that off to the next week and doing part one, part two. So I'm kind of thinking about that. So that, and then if people are getting ready to plant seeds, that's something to start thinking about right now. I'm going to be thinking about it this weekend or next weekend for tomatoes and peppers, and I probably should throw out some peas and stuff like that now. So probably peas, fava beans. I don't think I'm going to do fava beans this year, but peas, fava beans, greens, that can probably go out now for where I am. I'm guessing. A lot of people that have winter, maybe not. Maybe inside on the windowsill. But yeah. Yes, a dump cart is like as in a wheelbarrow, but it is a cart that you pull and you can dump it. Yep. Another month or so for Verna. Okay. Oh, Jacob says, man, I'm so jealous of everyone starting their gardens. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. I did get some plants from the neighbor they were getting rid of, so I have some more mature. I wasn't going to get any other kind of oregano except for hot and spicy oregano because that's what I love. That's what I have. I mean, I bought a little 4-inch pot, but they were getting rid of some other kind of oregano and then like a golden oregano, and I tasted them. They're good. And I figure if it's something that I'm going to be potentially selling later, like getting out in there, then I might as well take them if they weren't going to do anything with them. And then a sage plant, which I did buy one of those 4-inch ones, but having more sage is good. Sage is wonderful, a culinary sage. So I got those. And then they actually were giving away one that is had garlic chives. So I don't like chives, but I like garlic chives. So that's good. Jacob says we don't even have our seeds started yet. I don't either. And Jacob's in northeastern Wisconsin. Andy says, I'm getting spring fever, but too early. Exactly. Hey, if you have spring fever, it's too early. Andy and Jacob make sprouts, grow sprouts. And if you haven't done that before, I will see if I can find my little sprout video. But I have a video on sprouts. And their alfalfa sprouts are, there you go. Alfalfa sprouts in 4 days. Copy. Alfalfa sprouts. And they're really easy to do. They're greens in 4 days. And they're super tasty. And you can do different kinds of sprouts too. So there you go. Brenna's peacock plant is still going strong. Good. Good. Oh, sorry to hear that Jacob is in Wisconsin because it's cold. Oh my goodness. Jacob says it's all good. We hit 48 today, and I can actually see grass poking through the snow. Yeah, so Verna says sprouts are microgreens. You can also do microgreens. Yep. Andy has a sprouting jar sitting next to her right now. Is it empty? Does it have things in it? Yeah, you don't need anything special. I use a mason jar. You don't even have to use a mason jar. You can use any container. You can use a glass. You have glass for water. You can use a glass. Yeah. But they do get big. So put that much seeds in and then it grows big. Yeah. Empty. Andy, what are you doing? You gotta have one full. You can start it. So bean sprouts will hold you through. Yeah, I've done mung beans. That's really good too. You can do lentils. You can do, broccoli or kale or, those kind of spicy stuff. Yeah. And Vernon says you can toss amaranth grains out in your food forest. I could do that. I could toss a lot of things out there. But first, I'd like to take out the things that I'm taking out and then plan. Because I do have some trees. If you guys missed that video, I have one. It's like fruit trees. What did I name it? Fruit trees carjacked my car or something. So I do have some that I will be planting, and I need to actually get that started soon with the trees coming down that are coming down, so that I can get the fence people out here to fence. Yeah. Andy says I'm looking at it, saying it should be full. The seeds are sitting under the jar. Well, do it right now, Andy. Just do it right now. There you go. Getting closer. Okay. Maybe that's what we should do. Next live, should we start sprouting seeds together? Let me know if you guys want to do that. Yeah, starting sprouting seeds is super easy. I mean, you have to get the seeds. You can do it from a seed pack, but I would do it from sprouting seeds You can do it from the big bulk seeds to plant. However, those are not cleaned, so it could have all sorts of stuff on it. Yes, Jacob says yes. Okay, next week's topic is whatever I just said, alfalfa sprouts, sprouting. We can do that. You might have to remind me. Yeah. So all you need is a jar is good. If you have a mason jar with the band lid, that's good. If you have a flour sack towel, that's good. If not, any sort of light cloth or coffee filter or something breathable is good. And there you go. Yeah, here's your homework. Watch the link before the live. Yeah, and you can sprout all sorts of things. I know I have alfalfa sprouts and I have mung beans for sprouting. I don't remember if I got a mixed. I think I got some sort of mixture too. But the thing is, like a 1 tablespoon gets you like a whole jar. So maybe do one every other day if you want that to continue. You don't do it all at once because they keep growing and they grow quickly. Yeah. Andy says, I found a sprouting seed pack from the Dollar Tree. I saw them and thought I want to try them. Good luck. Sometimes seeds from that place do really well. Sometimes seeds from that place do really poorly. So good luck. Yeah. Soak them overnight. Yeah. So there's a process to go through. Yeah. And it's not going to take long to start them. But yeah, we'll do that. We will do that. All right. Well, it is 8:01. I hope everybody had a good time. We talked a lot of bunnies today, which is good. This is good. So because I do have rabbit processing coming up in the next few weeks. Yeah, in the next few weeks, there'll probably be a video about. I'm not going to show you like the process, but I'll be showing you how to debone it, because once you know what the bones look like, you know what they look like, or what, you have a better idea about how to do it. And then also I will be canning, I believe, unless more people locally want to buy, which I've had a few requests. But I will be doing some canning as well. So in the next few weeks, that'll happen. So yeah. All right. Andy says it's a 50-50 chance, but I wanted to try to see what they are from Dollar Tree. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it may or may not work, and I just give that warning for like those types of stores. Often I generalize, and maybe that's bad, but often the seeds aren't stored in an ideal way, and often it will be older seeds. So check the date, and the date does not mean like it's not a sell by date. It's a date of the date that's on there is for the year it's supposed to be sold in. But yeah. Only bought 1 pack. All right. Jacob said that will be interesting to see. Have a good night. All right. Have a good night, you guys. Thank you for coming, and be prepared with some sprouting seeds next week. All right. Have a wonderful day and wonderful night, and we will see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Have a wonderful night.